Now kita move to the issues in stock screening. So actually there are two issues in screening the shares. The first one is the stock screening is actually allowing the prohibited activities. Macam tadi kan, apa tu penjualan sigaret. Like I said, if the revenue of penjualan sigaret less than 5%, less than the benchmark percentage, it is considered Sharia business activities. So dia nak cakap from the screening method ni, from the benchmark method ni, dia allowing prohibited activity. But if the certain country impose strict regulation, this screening actually would severely constrict the investment universe of investable stocks available to Muslim investors. Maksudnya, these allowable activities ni, if it is imposed by a strict regulation, Muslim investors kiranya tak boleh invest in these types of business activities sebab business ni dah buat business yang sebenarnya ataupun in reality it is a non-Islamic business activities lah. But it is if the regulation is imposed by a strict country. So what is the solution to actually help this Muslim investor? It is by doing dividend purifications. Maksudnya apa? Although the business are actually doing business activity yang are not Sharia compliance, but the Muslim investor can invest to this kind of business, but they have to do dividend purification. Maksudnya, they have the dividend that they got from the revenue non-Sharia business activity have to channel it to the charities. So the fund manager will verify at the fund level or advise investors to purify personally, meaning the dividends that they got from the non-Sharia business activity have to purify it using what? How they want to purify the dividend? They have to channel it to the charities. So that from this solution, Muslim investors now freely tradable ataupun are freely to invest even though the business are non-Sharia business. The next issues of stock screening is that it is represent of non-monetary asset, meaning dia nak cakap the stocks tu represent non-monetary assets, but actually it is assumed that the shares to represent ownerships of non-monetary goods and property that are freely tradable. So actually it is allowed to trade the shares provided the greater part of the assets of the company by value are non-monetary assets, meaning that the trade of shares too are allowable to represent the non-monetary assets as long as it is part of the greater assets in the company. So meaning the issue here is allowable lah, even though the stocks to represent non-monetary asset, but as long as the shares or the stocks to represent represent the part of the greater asset in the company, so it is allowable. Okay. So now we move to the comparison between share trading and gambling, investment and speculation. Kenapa tau? Some opinions say that share trading ataupun the process of buying and selling stocks too similar to gambling. But it is actually diorang dah ada misconception lah in that opinion. So sebenarnya share trading and gambling tu ada differences diorang yang sendiri. Share trading tu they will trade ataupun what is the underlying asset that they will trade in share trading. It is of course they will trade shares in the shares trading. But gambling, what they are trying to trade is probably anything or can be nothing juga dia punya asset tu. So this is the first differences lah. As for the risk pula, share trading tu, the risk is reflected in the market operation, meaning that the risk tu depends on the demand ataupun will be affected on the demand and the supplies of the shares. But for gambling, the risk to actually is being created and built into the contract, meaning when you are trying to trading nothing, it is actually dari situ the risk tu is from the start lah, meaning from the start when you are trying to create the contract, terus dah dapat the risk tu terbina di situ. And as for financial outcome punya differences, share trading tu it is a free market of demand and supply. But as for gambling, it is a random event. The outcome that they will get is random, right? From gambling kita tak tahu bila kita akan dapat the financial outcome, okay? But as for share trading it is based on the market lah juga, whether the demand and supply. If the demand tinggi, then the outcomes probably will be higher. So that is the differences between share trading and gambling. But even though share trading too is allowable by Sharia, but it is not necessary that all transaction ataupun all form of transaction in share trading too is favorably from an Islamic perspective. Sebab from the share trading ni, dia ada dua method to trade the shares. One, probably the investors will trade the shares in investment method, or maybe the investors will go into share trading in speculative trading. So meaning there are two types of trading in share trading, meaning investors they are trying to buy and sell the trading to can go into two methods, whether they want to buy and sell in investment or they want to buy and sell the shares in speculative trading. But when in Islamic perspective, the speculative trading ni is not being approved lah by Islam, because dia cakap speculative trading in stock markets ni like a gambling, and it is a difference between there is a difference between speculative trading and investment. And speculative ni macam saya cakap, dia nak dikatakan macam gambling and it is not being approved by Islam. So now kita tengoklah what is the difference between investment and speculating trading ni. Investment ni dia entails ataupun dia required a detailed analysis and research of quantitative and qualitative data, meaning they required an analysis before they trade the shares. But speculative trading ni, they actually relies on a rumors and unsubstantiated hearsay, meaning the when investor trying to sell and buy the shares, it is by rumors. It is relies on rumors. If the rumors said that the market are favorable, that they will gain profit by that, then they will just trade during that time. But as for investment ni, dia akan buat detail analysis dulu. Dia akan buat detail research dulu before dia going into an investment lah, ataupun going into trading. And investment ni, it is a long term perspective, and investment kiranya it is a long term perspective types of investment. But as for speculative ni, it is only speculation to seek a quick gain, meaning if someone ataupun the investors relies on the rumors, dia dapat tahu that market price will gain ataupun will make them making profit higher than anybody lah kiranya. So it is actually a process when the investors trying to make a quick gain, trying to make a quick profit lah kiranya. So despite kiranya, even though it is only based on rumors, but as long as they will get a quick gain, so diorang tak kisah. But as for investment ni, disebabkan dia dah buat long term research, long term analysis, so they are expecting a long term perspective kind of investment lah. And it is based on, for investment it is based on a fact and figures. But for speculation ni, ataupun speculating trading, it is based on emotion. Nampak tak perbezaan dia? And untuk investment, dia forecast a prospective yields of asset over their cash generating period, meaning before they trade the shares in investment method, that they are actually forecasting the yield of the asset. But for the speculating trading, they are actually forecast the psychology ataupun the market, the future markets. So they are actually forecasting for the better market. So this is actually the difference between investment and speculating. That's why in share trading, some opinion ataupun maybe scholars agree yang all transaction dalam tu yang boleh dijadikan syariah transaction, because maybe they are trading in investment method. But if it is trade in speculating trading, so dia terus dah lies under non-syariah shares trading. So kita tengok in detail speculation in an Islamic perspective. So as we discussed earlier, speculation ni as a rational ni, dia memang provide a positive outcome. But it is said that the speculation tu ada ciri-ciri excessive, means that dia ada ciri-ciri like gambling lah, sebab dia hanya speculate kan. Tapi dia cakap kat sini, dia cakap no law can be enforced against speculation because it involved with lawful activities which is involved with buying and selling of shares. So no law can actually stop this kind of process ataupun speculation trading ni, sebab dia memang ada proses buying and selling of shares juga. The concern is about investors' intention. This is the differences between speculation and investments of trading. So, bezanya, even though it is similar to investment trading, which is other activity buying and selling the shares, but it is actually based on the investor's intention. If the investor's intention to have a quick gain, then it is terus lies under speculation trading. But if the intentions of investors are trying to seek a long-term investment ataupun long-term lifespan of investment, itu akan lies under investment trading. So what is the solution to actually minimize this ataupun we cannot stop the speculation, but we have can only minimize or maybe mitigate the speculation trading. So what is the solution? Maybe the regulators can implement trading or tax strategies in order to promote long-term investing and avoid harmful speculation. So i.e., for example, derivative tools, or maybe the regulators can regulate a speculation-friendly market mechanism like short selling or margin trading. So here maybe the regulators can provide three trading ataupun three methods of mechanism lah, which is short selling, margin trading and also derivative tools. So kita tengok contoh ataupun the example of speculative trading. So here is the example of speculation trading, which they call it as day trading. Day trading is when a person will actually buy and sell the stocks in a single day. Usually, you will encounter day trading in forex lah. So day trading similar to forex trading. So day trading goals is actually to take advantage of small fluctuations in price, leverage over large investment in order to make a profit. So macam forex trading, it is actually based on a fluctuations of market price yang has been shown in the systems. So we as a person ataupun as the investors will actually buy or maybe sell the stocks in accordance to the market price. If you think that the market price will give a favorable profit to you, then by then the person or the investor will maybe buy or sell the stocks. So it is from the forex trading itself, it makes the fluctuation easier to manage. And from the trading, the investors will gain a short-term profit, but it is more risky because the trade is based on a fluctuation ataupun is based on a fluctuation price. If the price will goes down, maybe probably an hours after that, so the investor will face a loss or maybe will risk themselves. That is the example of day trading for speculations types of trade. But then, like I said just now, there is a solution for these types of trading, which is the first one is margin trading. So margin trading is basically a form of borrowing that lets you leverage security you already own to purchase additional securities that actually will protect your account from overdraft or maybe access a convenient line of credit. meaning that it is a margin trading, meaning that it is a trade when you borrow securities when you doesn't have enough funds to buy the shares. For example, macam for example ni kan, like we want to buy 1,000 shares yang harga dia is like $10 per shares, and when we like total up the shares, it is $10,000 worth of shares. But then we only have $5,000, we short $5,000, isn't it? So because the total shares is $10,000, so we short $5,000 left. So we make a margin trading ataupun with the margin account tu, with the cash that we earn or we have $5,000 cash, we borrowed on margin another $5,000. So this is how margin trading works. Basically, dia boleh ataupun nak dikatakan dia similar to murabahah lah. It is when we doesn't have enough fund to maybe bought something or to buy something, so we ask the bank to help us find, right? So the bank probably will maybe mark up the price for us, isn't it? So this margin trading is similar to this share murabahah, where dia kata except the buyer obligations is fixed, no interest, right? Sebab apa? If we borrow $5,000, then we have to pay back $5,000. So it is fixed and there's no interest. And also there is no margin to increase equity if the stock price suddenly drops. So in case the stock price here suddenly goes to what, like $1 per share, so the margin that you have to pay is not increasing or maybe not even change. So you still have to pay $5,000 margin. So that is margin trading. The first solutions of speculation trading. So let's move to the second solution for this speculation trading, which is short selling. It is said that Security Commission of Malaysia does not allow these security commissions and lending, which same goes like margin trading ni lah. So that's why they came up with a restricted short selling, which is in short is RSS. So short selling ni is actually a selling and a buying borrowed stock within a short time period. For example, Ali selling his borrowed stock at RM2 per share. Let me like draw it here. So let's say this is Ali. So they sell his borrowed stock at RM2 per share. This is the borrowed shares. Let's borrowed share. They sell the borrowed share at RM2 per share to maybe some other guy, I'm not sure who, maybe bank company ke, and then buy the shares back. The Ali, this one they will sell, isn't it? So after they sell, dia akan buy balik the borrowed share at maybe when the stock price decrease at RM1. Because of what? When they sells at RM2, the price is higher than when Ali try to buy back. So meaning that Ali will gain a profit from there lah, which is a profit of RM1, isn't it? So when they sell RM2, they buy back at RM1. So when when they buy back the shares at 1 ringgit, then it will give it back to the owner of the stock, because the stock itself, it is a borrowed stock. Ali borrow the shares from anyone, I'm not sure who, but then they sell the borrowed shares at 2 ringgit, and then they buy back the shares at amount the price that yang lebih rendah daripada yang dia sell. So because of what, sebab dia nak dapatkan profit from the buyback shares tu lah. So as what Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned about this flows of selling, buying and selling, it is prohibited lah. According to Islamic ataupun views, what Ali is trying to do here, buy back the shares at the market price yang lower than the selling market price, it is prohibited. So this is one of the solution to actually reduce the speculation ataupun to mitigate the speculation trading. One of the solution to mitigate speculation trading is by using derivative instrument in the equity market. We have two instruments. One is the stocks and index future. Stocks ni of course the shares yang ada dua tu kan, preference shares and ordinary shares, and another one is by options and warrant. Okay. Dia cakap kat sini, stock and index futures or instrument that buy shares ni, it is same issues as a short selling. Meaning short selling is when we sell something that does not owned by us, and being able to deliver what one has sold. Meaning the stock and index futures role ataupun plays the same issues as short selling, meaning we trying to sell or buy something that we does not own, but we able to deliver them. Right? Dia kata there is another two new issues, which is if the stock and index futures are used for hedging purposes. Hedging meaning we buy just to pile the shares up, but it is not to sell it back. It is not for gaining profit lah. So it is said it is permissible, warranted. But if the stock and future index future ni used for speculative, meaning meaning we are trying to use the stock to actually sell and buy the shares in a speculative trading method, so dia kena reconsider back lah the Sharia endorsement. It should be reconsidered, so it should be reconsidered back. But if they use the stock and index future for hedging, it is permissible. Hedging meaning here, like I said, when we buy the shares as many as we want, but it is not for gaining profit ataupun it's only for us to save, to pile up the shares for our saving, but it is not to speculate. It is not for us to gain a short-term profit lah, meaning. The second instrument is on the option and warrant. It is said that the scholar accepted this instrument, but the issue is on the underlying asset, which they are trying to trade the right or the duty, which the scholar have disliked the sales of right. Meaning option and warrant is a trade of right or a duty, which the scholar said it is not acceptable lah, because of the sales of right too. So to be conclude that the use of this option and warrant too has been highly restricted in the global Islamic market. Actually lah, so to be conclude, because of the sales of right too is not agreeable by the scholars, so this kind of instrument has been restricted by Islamic market. That's all for chapter 6, equity market. Thank you.